Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race to you. These days are ours.
Hello and welcome to the Incomplete series, your incomplete guide to every TV show you've never watched. My name's Morgan, and this is where we watch the first episode and the very last episode of a television series, and we just try and work out what happened. With me is my good friend, Mr. Aaron Boughton. Aaron, how are you?
I'm rad, Morgan. I'm righteous, dude.
Really?
You can be rad if you want.
Which leads me to my next person, the second most rad person in the room, which is Jeremy. Jerome.
Take offence to that.
Why would you take offence to that?
I just thought I'd be up there, at least be equal first.
You're in the top four. Let's just say that.
That's good to know.
And lastly, the man that makes this all very, very possible, Scott Burgess. Scotty, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. Where do I rate on the rad scaling?
You're first.
First?
Yeah.
You're
Oh, so I'm the most righteous, but Scott's the most rad?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jeremy, you're second on all of these accounts.
Okay. Well,
I just transcended all.
You're not pulling your weight.
Well, I transcended all.
Okay.
So, Aaron, what did we watch this week?
This week, Morgs, we have watched Happy Days, the classic 1970s sitcom. But since it's leading up to Christmas, we thought we'd take a bit of a different tact. So we've watched the first Christmas episode of Happy Days and the last Christmas episode, which fall in season 2 and season 10.
Ooh, was season 10 the last season?
I think it was season 11.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they couldn't squeeze out a Christmas special for that?
No.
Well, there was no Christmas that year.
Oh, there wasn't.
84. Yeah, Christmas was cancelled.
Dark times.
Oh, right.
Look it up.
Because of the H.G. Wells novel?
Yeah.
Didn't want to risk it?
They just erased that year from the history books just to be safe.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah.
Orson
Welles.
Orson.
H.G. Wells?
H.G.
He did War
Wells.
of the
Who's
Worlds.
H.G. Wells?
He did War of the Worlds, didn't
Yeah,
he?
Orson Welles wrote 1984.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, there you go. You learn something new every
that
day.
right,
Or
Scott?
you learn something new
You're
every
confused.
podcast.
It was
No,
Orson
that's
Welles.
no.
It was Orson Welles.
H.G. Wells.
Orson Welles is a filmmaker. He made...
Oh, well, who wrote...
H.G. Wells.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Yeah. Science fiction. He wrote Time Machine.
I'm very rarely wrong.
Okay, all right.
Scott, why did we choose Happy Days?
It's just a very emotive show. I think everyone's kind of got some feelings about it, one way or another. It's very cheesy.
It is. Oh, it's very cheesy. Quick cutaways. Just it is called Happy Days, so it's literally a very, very happy show.
And the theme song.
Oh,
My God,
so
that has been stuck in my head
catchy.
for the last 60 hours.
I must admit, though, on a scale of shows that we've watched, this one hasn't been the one that's stuck out. What are you laughing at, Jess?
We're all wrong.
It wasn't.
It was
George Orwell.
George Orwell.
All right, so we've worked out that we
All's
don't know
well
anything
that
about
ends well.
we don't know anything about that book.
Wait, this isn't a literary podcast. We're reviewing television.
It's a television podcast. So let's
Talk
just
about
let's
television.
leave
We don't
that
know-
out.
We don't know books.
No,
Read
exactly.
the first chapter and the last chapter of 1984.
Okay.
Cancel Christmas.
I just want to say that you're the most wrong, because Orson Welles is not an author.
Well,
At least H.G. Wells.
Yeah,
wrote
Yeah,
a
I think I was
But
in the ballpark.
You
You lost your
less
goddamn mind.
more or less wrong. Because we're all wrong. It's like
No, but there's someone. I
you're either
be,
wrong or
you
you're
could-
right.
You could
There's
be.
no varying degrees of wrong.
Yeah, you can. You could be. Someone could be slightly closer, like I was. At least my guy was a writer.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I know about.
I'm
it.
on your side, Jez.
It's bullshit. Anyway, back on track, back to the podcast. Of all the shows we've watched so far, though, I must admit, this one, I haven't been thinking about this show like I have the others. Like when we watched the others, I would think about it for days.
It's very pick up and put down.
Yeah, it is.
You're
It's
not-
very-
you don't have to think at all while you're watching it.
It's that kind of mindless sitcom. You can just turn it on, your brain shuts down for half an hour.
Yeah,
That's why those shows are so popular.
launched a lot of careers. Maybe not a lot. Maybe one,
Two.
two.
A lot of
But
spin-offs.
What did Henry Winkler do after
Henry Wrinkler.
Wrinkler? Wrinkler?
There's an R in there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I was wrong again.
Yeah, you are.
He's
You're
in,
making a real habit of that.
Arrested Development.
I know. Well, yeah.
I think
He
he's
was
just
great
in
in that.
movies here and
But
there.
only
Little
because-
Nicky.
He did do a lot of work with Adam Sandler.
Robin Williams. He goes start in on screen in Happy Days.
Did you really?
Wasn't he in like
So did Scott Baio.
some other thing where he was like there was an alien?
No, that is a spin-off of Happy Days. Mork and Mindy.
Is it?
Mork and Mindy is a spin-off of Happy Days.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
wasn't Robin Williams an alien?
Yeah.
So
That is in the Happy Days universe.
wow, that's
Really? Well, they
really
did jump
weird.
sharp.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So like it's beyond the realm of
Yeah.
possibility.
I don't know. It seems like it's beyond the realm
They
of
were
possibility.
scrambling for ratings near the end, huh?
Yeah, really desperate, just going for anything.
Wow.
That wasn't the last. It wasn't in the last
Alf
season. That
the spin-off of Happy Days?
Yeah, everything is.
Okay.
Everything.
Every television show is.
yeah,
it's
Everything
Happy Days.
post 1974.
1984 is a spin-off of Happy Days as well.
So is that what
The dark last season
Orson
that
Welles
no one talks
was it? Who was it? George Orwell. Is that what he
George
based?
Orwell.
Did he
H.G.
base?
Wells.
Did H.G. Wells base War of the Worlds off
H.G. Nelson.
of Happy Days? The spin-off of the Happy Days universe.
Yes, it is. Yeah, he wrote it 40 years prior, but he worked it in.
Such an influential,
Wide-reaching show.
so influential. Did you guys know much about this show going in at all? Like, I mean, apart from the Fonz, obviously.
The Fonz, I knew of it. I knew the song. I knew Ron Howard was in it.
You know the names? Like Joni, Chachi,
Yeah,
Potsy.
Joni loves Chachi. I've
Yeah.
heard that before, but
Ralph
I don't know
Melf,
where. I didn't know.
Mr. C.
Yeah, Ralph Melf. What are these names?
Fun
Potsy.
to say though. Ralph
Yeah.
Melf.
Ralph
50s
Melf.
Been
more.
saying that all
Simpler
the
times.
podcast.
I know.
Ralph Melf.
And also, one of the big themes I took away from this show, I don't know about you guys, but there was a lot of repressed sexual things going on, like
Yeah.
to the point where it was disturbing.
A lot of overpants hand jobs. In
That's what you picked up?
at Makeout Point.
Look, do we want to let's look at the episode 1 or the first episode we watched, which was season 2, episode 11, the first Christmas special. Scott, I think you've got the breakdown for us.
The first Christmas episode of Happy Days begins at episode 11 of season 2, with the name Guess Who's Coming to Christmas? Well, I'll give you 2 guesses who's coming to Christmas, but you'll only need 1.
Yeah, it just so happens that I am very big on Christmas. I thought that was well known about the Fonz.
But we'll get to that later. We're introduced to the Cunningham family, sitting around the dinner table. There's of course Richie Cunningham, the youngest son, played by Ron Howard, his sister Joni, his mother Marion, and his father Howard. Howard has decided to make a new strict rule for this year's Christmas celebration.
We decided that this Christmas Eve was going to be strictly for the family. It's going to be a nice, quiet Christmas Eve.
We're then introduced to the eldest of the Cunningham children, in a way that seems like he mysteriously disappeared years ago.
Hey, Dad. Is that you, Chuck? I didn't know you were here.
After Richie, Chuck, and Mr. C try to fix a broken mechanical Santa Claus in their front yard, with no success, Richie heads to the local diner. His friends, Ralph Malph and Potsy, have hatched an ingenious plan to get girls to kiss them.
Excuse me, miss. I couldn't help but notice that you're standing under the mistletoe. Merry Christmas!
Works every time, Ralphie.
And by intelligent plan, I mean that Potsy stands behind the girl, holding mistletoe above her, whilst Ralph forces them to kiss him. Yep, works every time. The Fonz then enters with some presents and Christmas advice.
So what? Christmas is for giving, not receiving.
I don't get it. What's the act, Fonzie?
Hey, what do you mean by act? Are you saying I don't have any Christmas spirit?
Oh, no, Fonz. A lot of spirit. It's written all over your face. You're a walking Christmas card.
After the Fonz is done half-threatening high school-aged children, he tells the guys that he has plans for Christmas up in Waukesha.
Waukesha? Yeah. I got a regular thing on Christmas time. My cousin lives up there. A big house. Spread they put out for Christmas.
However, clearly there's holes in the Fonz' story, and Richie notices. Later, as Richie and his father Howard are leaving the hardware store, the car breaks down. But fear not, the local mechanic hasn't left yet for his big Christmas plans.
Fonzie's still at the garage. He says he can fix it if we can push it over there.
Well, hurry up before it gets dark. Why is it that this car always picks Sundays and holidays to get sick?
After Fonzie fixes the car, Richie notices that he already should have left for Waukesha.
Look, it's after 4. You missed your bus, Fonz. So what? I'll catch the one at 5. Yeah, but your cousins and everybody are gonna be waiting for you. I think I just said, so what?
Clearly on the defensive, the Fonz tells them that it's no big deal and gets them to leave. Whilst on the way out, Richie remembers he has a present to give the Fonz, but then he heads back into the garage and sees Fonzie celebrating Christmas alone. After the Cunninghams get back to celebrate Christmas Eve, Howard and Marion notice Richie is upset. Richie tells them he thinks the Fonz didn't actually go to Waukesha.
Richard, do you think Fonzie's really alone?
Yeah, I'm sure of it. Well, he made up some big story about a party in Waukesha, but I know he's at home. I saw him eating ravioli out of a can. Now, what kind of a way is that to spend Christmas Eve?
As a family, they decide that Fonzie shouldn't be alone for Christmas, so Richie and Howard go to his apartment to see him.
Hey, Mr. C, how are you? My bus leaves in 15 minutes. I was just on my way down to the station.
I thought you're catching the 6 o'clock. It's almost 8.
Yeah, well, packing took me longer than I thought. You know, I didn't know what to wear. And, you want to drive me down to the station? Come on.
Trying to subtly invite the Fonz around to their house for Christmas, Howard asked the Fonz to help fix the mechanical Santa in their front yard.
Well, it sounds simple. I could probably fix that in 2 seconds. I'll fix it. But then I'm going to catch the 9 o'clock bus, and that's the last one tonight, huh? And there's no way I'm going to miss that bus.
They bring the Fonz back to their house, where he fixes the Santa and then fixes the lights on their Christmas tree. Unfortunately, this takes more time than expected.
Yeah, but I hate to tell you this, it's 3 minutes past 9.
Oh, you missed your bus to Waukesha.
Yeah, and that's the last one tonight.
Yeah, I know.
The Fonz accepts the Cunninghams' offer to spend Christmas with them, letting on to Mr. C that...
I know you're hip to Waukesha.
Translation: the Fonz has realised that Mr. C knows his plans in Waukesha are just a front, but Howard tells him that it was Richie who first noticed. The Fonz thanks Richie the only way he knows how, by softly punching him with a soft insult.
That's for having all your freckles in the right place.
The family then sit down for Christmas dinner and ask the Fonz to say grace.
Hey, God. Thanks.
And that's the first Christmas episode from Happy Days.
Well, that was a forgettable first episode to watch.
I've already forgotten what it was about.
Yeah,
I just
I know.
recapped it. Yeah.
It just like you said earlier, just not a lot happens. Like it's nothing really transpires. I mean, Fonzie's just alone for Christmas, and then the Cunninghams invite him over. That's pretty much it. Tom Bosley, who clearly hates his family and hates everything.
Tom Bosley being
that's
Mr. C.
Yeah, Mr. C.
Standard 1950s though, right?
Yeah, and
Grumpy dad just hates everything.
I don't
if
think
you're married and a father in the 50s, your life was miserable.
Unless you had the paper and you're in your comfy chair, you just
exactly.
miserable. So.
And they certainly weren't all happy days at the Cunningham household.
Not all happy days for the Fonz either. That man has some issues.
He does. He really does.
There's his weird relationship with all the other kids.
Yes.
And
also, we need, before we get too deep into this, can we just map out the ages? Because what is the Fonz and how old is the Fonz? And is Ron Howard's Richie Cunningham, is he in school?
So there's two separate questions. How old is he meant to be? And how old does he come across as? Because he's meant to be just out of high school, maybe?
I think he's going to be a couple of years older. I think he's like going to be mid to late 20s. That's the vibe I got.
And the other kids, I think, is like high school seniors.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the Fonz looks 40 and the kids look mid-20s.
Yes, correct.
And then, going back to the family, the older brother is going bald.
Chuck.
Yeah. Is he meant to be in school still?
I think he was like going away at college and coming
probably
back for the holiday season kind of deal.
Sort of like a mature age student going to college in his 40s.
Yeah,
Which is
something
fine.
like
Good,
that.
good for him turning his life around.
Yeah, he's dorming.
Why is he? Why
does the Fonz hang out with a bunch of high school kids then?
He just can't grow up. Like he's a child at heart.
Peter Pan?
That wouldn't fly anymore. He'd be arrested.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hitting
Totally.
on all the teenage girls.
Yes.
Threatening the boys.
Yeah. Man.
The father's right next to him. Why would you be comfortable with this guy in his mid to late 20s constantly threatening your son and always hanging out with him? And
have we got
it's Fonzie.
So
He's
of
cool.
course,
Yeah.
So Mr. C.
Yeah.
Have we got a bit of a? Is he a bit of a bud? In that, I am 99% sure the reason he didn't want Fonz to come over is because whenever Fonz comes over, he's got to sleep on the couch, and Fonz sleeps in his bed with his wife.
Come on.
That actually was one of my reboot ideas. Was actually the Fonz like trying to take over the family, and that's why Tom Bosley kind of just didn't want him coming to Christmas.
Yeah.
God.
happens every year, Fonz.
Yeah, he's sleeping with Marion.
He lets Mr. C sit in the corner a while.
It's possible. I'm
pretty sure I made this same joke.
Is it possible that like the whole show is just a cult and Fonzie's the leader of the cult? I just stick with the same.
That's believable.
He's got a weird stranglehold over that town, it seems.
Everyone loves him.
Yeah.
And they're afraid of him as well. Like he rules
Real
with an iron
intimidation.
fist.
And also with that scene where Ralph Malph, great name, is tricking that girl into kissing him, and by tricking her I mean forcing himself onto her.
Oh, you mean raping her?
Yeah. He says after like he successfully lands one on her, He says A like the Fonz. Like he picked up that trick from him.
Yeah.
It's a bit dark. It's a bit weird.
He runs sexual assault classes down at the Y.
What Fonzie does.
All the kids come along.
Very popular in the 50s. Yeah.
Thursday night regular.
Works every time.
Well, clearly. I mean, there's a lot, like I said, a lot of weird sexual things going on.
Yes.
Here's something I want to bring up in that one is it does lightly, I mean, like it makes a joke about Ralph Mal sexually assaulting that girl and Fonzie being weirdly threatening all these teenagers. Another one was when they had the Christmas party at Tom Bosley's hardware shop. That dude who's clearly an alcoholic. He was so drunk at work that he couldn't even talk.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, he's that drunk again.
I guess we'll get something out of him next Christmas.
He is hammered. He can't even speak.
He just slumps into a coma for 364 days and then...
How much eggnog did he have in the daytime? It was like 5 o'clock and he couldn't even talk.
A lot of drinking alcohol out of little bowls and tiny little dainty crystalware cups.
Because that makes it classy. You can't be an alcoholic if you're drinking out of something like that.
They're hot cider. Is that alcoholic?
No, it's the Kool-Aid for the Fonzie's cult.
Fonzie's supplied.
Fonzie's cult.
Fonzie brand Kool-Aid.
That would have sold in the 70s, definitely.
Definitely.
One thing that confused me in that episode, when after the Fonz was dishing out his presents to all the guys, he also gave all the waitresses a necklace. And they kept saying, it's the Ginchiest?
You're the Ginchiest.
You're the Ginchiest?
Yeah, I don't get it.
What is that?
I have no idea. It must be some sort of reference in the show from earlier.
Yeah, because it kind of sounds like Grinch, but that's not what they're meaning.
No, I know.
Because they're thanking him for the present.
How many of those waitresses do you think the Fonz had slept with?
All of them.
There was no penetration in the 50s, like I said before.
Because they didn't have genitals.
How many overpants handjobs do you think he got? Is the right question to be asking.
New pair of jeans
well
every day.
Well into triple figures.
Every day. When he's like, they go to his house, Fonzie's little tiny apartment that's half filled with a motorbike. And he's, come up with excuses as to why he hasn't left for Waukesha or whatever yet.
Waukesha.
Waukesha?
Yeah.
That was close.
Oh, you're hip to Waukesha.
I am hip. I'm hip to it. And he's like, I had to pick out something to wear. Fonzie, you wear jeans, white t-shirt, and leather jacket every day of your life.
Did you know Fonzie's leather jacket is in the United States History Museum, the National History Museum of America?
Really?
It's the country's biggest asset.
It is.
I think it pulls in something like 13% of their GDP. It's just from tourists coming to view the jacket.
Crazy.
It's great. It's a very popular jacket.
It's like how countries have reserves in gold. They've just got it in.
They've just
Fonzie's,
got
Fonzie's jacket. Yeah. We don't need any of
Fonzie
that gold.
standard.
It's all right. We got this as backup. So apparently on Urban Dictionary, Ginchy or Ginchiest is meaning cool, groovy, hep, happening, awesome, kick-ass, and rockin'.
The pinnacle of cool.
The pinnacle of cool. So says Mia, who entered it into Urban Dictionary on January 19th, 2004.
Mia? I thought the Fonz coined that term.
No, it's Mia.
The Mia was interpreting it for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he coined it.
From the ancient scripture.
He's like a prophet of the Fonz.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Church of the Fonz.
So when you're reading Shakespeare, you got to get a translation on another book. That's Mia for the Fonz.
I should say, I mean, I feel this Fonz cult. There was a Family Guy episode where Peter starts a Fonzie cult. But now I can see how that came about just watching this episode.
The whole town, whatever town they're in Minnesota or something. Or
Is it Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
don't know. They're in.
No,
They're near
Milwaukee.
Waukesha.
Milwaukee.
They are near Waukesha.
just outside of
They're
Waukesha.
25 miles from Waukesha.
Waukesha,
I know
right.
that.
Where's
But
Waukesha?
the whole town seems to sort of
Gravitate around
him.
Around Fonz.
Yeah.
If he left, I
They'd
would
all
assume it'd all
jump off a cliff.
fall
He'd
into a
leave
pit,
directions as to what they should do when he leaves.
When they wrote out like Ralph Malph and Richie, do you think it's because they challenged the Fonz?
Yeah, he killed them.
Oh, he had them.
We can speculate.
Had them removed.
They disappeared.
This is speculation, Morgs.
Before we get too carried away with speculation, we should probably explain what happens in the second episode we watched.
Good call.
Aaron?
Another snowy Milwaukee Christmas opens with the Fonz and a little girl who appears to be some sort of stepdaughter visiting a mall Santa, played by Pat Morita, aka Mr. Miyagi. The not at all insufferable little girl Heather asks Santa for a baseball mitt under Fonzie's instructions because...
Yeah, well, I didn't want her to grow up and be a sissy, you know.
But what she really wants is her mum and grandparents to reconcile. Can Santa and the Fonz make it happen?
That's going to be very hard there, Heather. Very hard.
There's a brief scene with the Fonz wrapping presents in what looks like his office, which appears to be located in a men's bathroom somewhere. That just seems like a normal thing for them. Meanwhile, back at the Cunninghams, Howard's brother is coming to visit. After a bitter 15-year-long grudge between the two, Dick Cunningham, with his wife and daughter, travelled from Nairobi for Christmas. Marion is worried about Howard's temper, since Dick always gets under his skin. It doesn't take long for them to get stuck into it after Dick railroads Howard's firelighting. Dick riles Howard up by bringing up the classic argument, who's a better ball player, Joe DiMaggio or Ted Williams?
The thinking man knows that Ted Williams is the better ball player.
Not in Howard's house. The brothers have a rumble in the snow while the wives cheer them on, but the Fonz comes along and with a click of his fingers, he ends all the fighting. The Fonz is mortified. Family can't behave like this on Christmas. 10 seconds of Fonzie psychology and 15 years of bad blood is gone.
Oh, Dick, I missed you.
I miss you too, Howard.
Back at the Fonz's, and he's opening presents with his partner Ashley and the screeching hellspawn Heather.
It's Christmas! Wow, what a dollhouse!
But there are no grandparents. The Fonz and Heather convince Ashley to make a call to her parents to try to patch things up. Begrudgingly, she makes the call, and wouldn't you know it, it's a Christmas miracle. Ashley has a heart-to-heart over the phone, and it seems all is well.
See that, sweetie? That wasn't so hard.
That was the housekeeper.
Her parents are away, but that's all fine. She tried, problem solved. We finish with a group sing-along back at the Cunninghams of Deck the Halls, and it was indeed a happy day.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
I feel uncomfortable with you saying Dick got under his skin. That's a very weird term.
I really want to thank you for pointing out the fact that that little girl's a hellspawn. She says everything at volume 10. It's so like, does she have to yell all of her lines? I mean, who directed that episode?
10.
Yeah.
It's out of control. But look, I'm personally, I just want to dive straight in and just go, it's very clear that Dick sexually abused Howard when they were growing up.
Whoa. All right.
It is. And tell me it's not, because...
It's not?
I mean, Dick did get under his skin, so...
Aaron pointed it out. And let me tell you why. For some reason, inexplicably, Dick treats him like absolute shit and just stands all over him. And he's got this... And Tom Bosley has this really short temper, can't speak to him, and he doesn't respect him at all. And when they did patch things up, the story they went to, the story Dick alludes to is, do you remember that time we went skinny dipping?
It's the 50s. What do you want them to
They go,
do?
why did two brothers just go skinny dipping and then...
That's all they got.
Yeah, get some shorts. So I think there's some stuff went on, and that's why Howard. That's why Howard's so like, he's got a lot pent up rage and hates everything around him.
And I think that speaks even more to the Fonz's skills as a counsellor. The fact that he can clear all that in 10 seconds.
That's the cult.
Yeah,
that's the cult of the Fonz.
They're his disciples, so his word is scripture.
Why wouldn't you worship him when he's doing that?
His word is gospel. That's the saying I was...
I like that you were...
It's both scripture and gospel.
Yeah,
But-
first one then the other.
Yeah. It's gospel and then it's written into scripture, I guess. That's how it would work. Is that how it works?
I believe
I don't
so.
know. I never started a religion.
There was a bit of a cheer when the Cunningham's niece entered into the show. She ran into the...
Was that the niece
mall
or
whatever it was?
the
Yeah.
daughter? Okay. They were talking. The daughter and the niece were talking.
No, the daughter's not there.
Joni's gone.
Joni's gone.
So none of them are there.
Richie's
gone. Potsy's gone. Ralph Malph's gone.
So they've got
Older brother?
It's Dick's daughter. She was talking to her friend at the start, saying that her parents were here over Christmas from Nairobi.
Okay, so she.
But when she entered, there was cheering and whooping, and it was like a Kramer
She's the sex symbol.
style entry. Well, I don't know. Is this when it started? Like that, everyone clapping when a character enters
Favorite, yeah.
for a live to tape show in
Was
front
it
of an
filmed
audience?
in front of a live studio audience?
I don't know.
Happy Days was filmed. I'm pretty sure it was filmed in front of a live
How
studio.
did they do the outdoor shots?
They just do them separately,
Yeah.
or they build a set that looks like outdoors.
How did everyone feel about Santa?
I
Mr.
felt
Miyagi.
fine,
Mr.
but
Miyagi Santa.
How would they feel in the 50s?
Yeah, well, actually, I watched an interview with Pat Morita talking about how he got to have that voice. He has a very sort of pidgin English, stereotypical Asian voice. Apparently, when they were doing the initial rehearsals, he was just talking like a normal American accent. He was an American citizen his whole life.
He was born in California.
And when about the day before they were going to start recording, one of the producers came down and he's like, you got to pick an accent. Like you got to have something to go with. You can't just be talking in normal American accent. So he just decided to put on the stereotypical accent. And then a few weeks later, one of the people from like Standards and Practices came down and said there was a lot of sort of pressure from different groups saying that Japanese people can't play Chinese characters, and they just assumed he was a Chinese character because that was kind of the voice. So on the fly, he was just like, no, he's not Chinese. His name's Mr. I can't remember what his name is. Takahashi. In the show, he said, no, it's Arnold Takahashi. He had a Japanese father, but a Chinese mother. His father died in the war. His Chinese mother brought him to America.
Likely story.
Yeah, so he just gave himself a Chinese accent with a Japanese name, which allowed him to be a Japanese actor playing a Japanese Chinese character.
As an American.
That still doesn't really add up. So, because he clearly looks like he's in his probably 50s, and his father, I'm tipping on his father died in World War II.
Yeah, that's
and the show's set in the 1950s.
Look, Morgan.
Don't limit this fictional character, Morgan.
His dad died when he was like in his mid-30s.
And then he got brought over?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just pointing it out. The time frame just doesn't really add up. I'm sure it's fine.
Happy Days exists in some sort of bubble where age is a non-issue because the Fonz, like I said before, was hanging out with high schoolers when he was well into his 40s. So stop.
Are we sure the
Fonz
Fonz in his 40s? Could he be thousands of years old?
He could be. What else in this episode? I mean, not a lot apart from the fact that he works in a bathroom. Wrapping presents.
That's his like personal office away from. He's got the garage, mechanic shop.
He's a mechanic.
But then it looks like he takes care of the rest of his business
out of a bathroom in a department store.
I think it's in a diner.
The diner.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that scene where, because he's wrapping presents in the bathroom or whatever the hell he's doing, and then character who's probably not worth explaining because I can't explain it because I don't really know what her role was, but she walked in and started talking to him and he was like, help me wrap presents please because I'm terrible. And it's a bathroom and she looks up on the wall and her phone number's there and she goes, oh my god, it's my phone number. And then he's like, we can get rid of it. And she's like, no, it's my old phone number. And then scratches out to write her new phone number. But this is obviously in a time where it's home phone numbers.
Yeah.
Is she like living at home and just getting calls being like, hi, Mr. Jones, can I speak to your daughter because her number was written on a bathroom
I'm looking for
wall
a good time.
and I want to have sex with her.
I don't think you say why. And they're not having sex. They're like, I
Every
want her
time
to
that
give me
I've
an
called a
overpants
number on a
hand.
bathroom wall, Jess, I've explicitly stated to whoever's picked up why I'm calling.
Well, I'm calling where I found the number. But she did definitely say that she still lived at home. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because she lives with her... Yeah,
she lives with her parents, but she doesn't talk to them. Yeah, so... no surprise that she doesn't like her parents. They probably don't like her very much if they've got all
bring these
lewd men calling up and... Well, I don't know. Each to their own. She can do what she wants. But I'm just saying, it makes it a little awkward.
Maybe
for the
they're
family.
into it. Anyway, the parents don't really have a say. It comes down. Fonzie has the final say. He's okay with it, and it flies.
Yeah, that's true.
They're all his cultists.
Can we just skip back to the skinny dipping story? Why was that the story that they reminisced about? Why was that what they bonded? That's why I'm saying I think that there's something really sinister in that relationship. There's a reason he didn't speak to him for 15 years, and I think it's because of I think his brother was abusing him.
An incident.
Yeah.
Did we establish where Richie went?
No.
Did he,
College?
Jonathan Taylor Thomas, out of there, go to Costa Rica? Maybe. Like Home Improvement.
Well, it depends on how old you think Richie is. Because
Went
again,
to a retirement village.
he's somewhere between the ages of 12 and 38 at any given time.
So
in
then
Happy
at
Days.
season, so we saw him at season 2.
So he might have gone to boarding school, or he might have gone into a retirement home. So
somewhere between the two.
Somewhere between that.
But really, like, where could he possibly have gone? Is he living off with another family somewhere?
Well, my theory was, because you see how, like, forceful Fonzie is with all his friends. Like, he intimidates the shit out of them. They're just terrified of him. So I think they would just go along with whatever he says.
Oh, so you think he just disappeared?
Well, no, I think at one point, something would have gone down. Fonzie may have killed someone, and he's just forced Richie to take the fall. So Richie's in prison.
Calling from prison.
Yeah,
he's calling.
He goes one call. Call up the family.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is good.
That's believable.
And because Mr. Cunningham is so beaten down from all his previous life experiences, from all the horror that he went through as a child, he just allowed it to happen because Fonzie just controls him because of the Fonzie cult.
Obviously, yeah.
Oh, God, I love Christmas specials.
They're great.
Brings the family together.
It really does.
That's believable. What about the daughter then? Similar type scenario?
Joni. She was off with Chachi.
Oh,
doing
Johnny does
10
love
years up
touching.
at Waukesha.
Just in a slammer.
All right. That's definitely a reboot. The Waukesha Redemption.
Waukesha Redemption.
Yes. All right. So we're clearly into speculation now. We've transitioned from our second episode to speculation.
I mean, as nice as it would be for some of these theories to be true, the depressing and plain to see truth is that it would have just been run-of-the-mill family drama.
Really,
with
really boring.
Like one episode, you see in the second credits, they show clips from previous episodes. Like there'll be one episode based around Fonzie accidentally reversing through the garage door.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely one. If not two-parter.
And one where Fonzie accidentally reverses over one of the kids and Richie has to take the fall. No, but, I don't know. I don't think there would have been... I think if you've seen one episode of Happy Days, you've seen them all.
You've seen them all? Yeah. There wasn't a whole lot that was incredibly different between the two. Like, it wasn't a completely different show. I have one theory, and I'm not sure it's going to fit into the cult aspect of it, but it might. I think that the Fonz has never slept with anybody, and I think he's actually asexual and gets off on people wanting to have sex with him. I think that's his thing.
Okay. I can see that.
So the Fonz is a virgin.
Yeah. I think he's asexual. I don't think he wants to have sex with anybody. I think he has a sexual attraction to people.
I think
he has a sexual attraction to people having a sexual attraction to him.
Yeah.
Or he has sex with cars.
There's no reason why he can't do both.
He can do both.
Don't pigeonhole the pond. The pond.
What he does, the way he fuels his sexual desire for the cars is by having other people be sexually attracted to him. And then he goes home with all that pent-up sexual frustration and just takes it out on a car.
Yeah.
That's why he knows so much about the plumbing of cars and not a lot else. He's never ever dealt with the pipes and holes. He's never actually dealt with any other mechanical issues.
So likely, or what's that what we're saying?
Sure. No, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, because he just, I don't know, he seems like he's skirting around. Everyone's kind of in love with him, but I think you can't, if you're that sort of person inside of a town, you're going to have some dirty laundry. And there's going to be some people that don't like him very much. And it seems like all the girls are, like, they're quite...
Yeah, he's never really got too involved with anyone.
No one hates him.
He hasn't burned
there's no
anyone.
bad blood.
Yeah.
You're right. You would run out of sexual endeavors very quickly.
And I don't think you could have sex with that many people in a town and not burn anyone.
No.
Just doesn't work.
Burn them
that.
with your chlamydia or burn them with
your oil-covered penis. What else are you talking about? Before we get on to our reboots, can we quickly just hash out the intro to Happy Days? Because it was amazing.
Oh, wow.
All of those little clips they just had clips of just random characters having interactions, but they were all so cheesy.
Yep.
I've made a bunch of GIFs from all of them, which you can check out on our website on the Happy Days episode page. And you can see how incredible they are. There's one where Ralph Malph looks like he's making out with a girl who's like got her arms over his shoulders. And then Potsy walks up, taps him on the shoulder, and then he turns around and they're his own arms.
Yeah.
And he gives like this really sheepish like shrug, like, yeah. What are you going to do?
I thought that was Richie.
No. Richie wouldn't do that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, true.
Did you even see the show, Jez?
Richie's making out with real girls.
Richie's got class.
Richie inherited the Fonz's asexuality.
Yeah, what is Ralph Malph's endgame? Like, who's he fooling there?
It doesn't make any sense.
Himself?
If you break down, like...
Do you believe it for long enough? He read The Secret just before doing that.
Eventually a girl will just appear in his arms.
Yeah.
How often was Happy Days on?
Every day.
Daily?
24/7.
No.
Sunday,
they had about
Monday?
22 to 24
was
episodes
that maybe
a
what the song was saying? It's like, hey, here's the upcoming week's TV schedule. Sunday, Monday, Happy Days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Happy Days. And you had Saturdays to just sort of digest all that happened in the week leading up to it.
Just read the ancient scripture from the Fonz.
Yeah. So we've seemed to have come to the natural conclusion of our wild speculation. Means there's only one thing left to do, and that's reboot this bad boy.
Oh, good. I want to recast the shit out of this thing.
Yep. You know what? I'm going to be selfish here. I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
Take the lead.
I'll take the lead. Yeah, I'm running point on this
one. You've really set the bar high these last 2 episodes.
I have.
Yeah.
I know that everyone's desperately awaiting Sex and the Civic to get greenlit. I'm deep in negotiations with Netflix. It's coming.
And Honda.
And Honda.
And JB Smooth.
Yes. All right, so who's familiar with the work of Neill Blomkamp?
I am.
Yes.
I am not.
Yeah,
Please
director
enlighten
of-
me and the
So
listeners.
you might know him from such things as District 9, Elysium. He's the director.
Okay. Yep.
He works a lot with Chateau Copley.
He's the main guy in everything.
The most recent movie he did, I believe, was Chappie, about a talking robot that is befriended by the Antwood. So, combining those two things together, Chappie and Happy Days, you get Chappie Days. All right, so it's Chappie Days. We're replacing the Fonz with Chappie, the talking, the robot from Chappie, voiced by Chateau Copley. I don't know whether or not he wears a leather jacket.
Can you please?
He's got to wear a leather
Can you
jacket.
please do what you think that sounds like? Chateau Copley doing.
He has like a
the Fonz voice. I want to hear it. I really need to. I think the listeners need to hear it.
I'm not very good at South African accents.
Come on, you gotta. Well, you've only got to be half good at a South African accent, and then the other half is your Fonz impression.
That's
South African
I'm not,
Fonz?
Just force something out.
Come on, just give us
2, 1.
Nah, God, stage fright.
Hey.
Hey.
That's more, bit
But then
more
robotic
bit
as
more
well.
tool time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've been thinking about where I need to go with the rest of the characters. For Richie, though, easy choice because his age is so ambiguous throughout. Why not go with the other ambiguously aged redhead who's shot to prominence in the last couple of years, and Jesse Plemons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What is he, 12? Is he in his late 60s? Who knows? We may never know. So the Fonz is Chappie. Richie is Jesse Plemons. For the dad, I wanted to give Henry Winkler a role, so I think I might cast him as the dad.
Oh, right.
Could be a little old. So I've got him, or I've got Ron Howard's brother.
Oh, God.
It's Ron Howard's brother.
What's his name?
Clint.
Clint Howard. That creeps me out.
Yeah.
He's a man.
Why not?
He's certainly a man.
He's definitely a human male. Well, definitely is the wrong word.
The good Lord in all his wisdom did not bless him with good looks.
He's most likely a human male. And I figured if I was going to go Henry Winkler for the dad, I'd go Jessica Walter for the mum. Bit of Arrested Development family in there.
I like that.
Similar age, I figure that would work pretty well. And then, I don't know, hilarity ensues. It's just Happy Days, but a robot is the Fonz.
So what happens? This is a television show. Is it just regular Happy Days stuff?
Just like season 12
set in
of Happy Days?
Yeah, it's set in Milwaukee. Season 12. They don't even explain it. They just jump into season 12 and the Fonz is a robot.
And
everyone,
Henry Winkler is playing
Nobody's
Mr. C.
Yeah.
Seamless transition.
Yep.
Okay.
Where do the Antwood fit into this? Because they played an integral role in. Has anyone seen Chappie?
No, sorry, explain. I haven't, and I'm not sure if everyone else would.
So Chappie's sort of set in. I think that they're always set in South Africa. It's set in like Johannesburg or something. In the not too distant future, where the police force is made up of robots, and these gangsters, these small time gangsters, played by the Antwood, manage to capture one of the robots, and they reprogram it so that he will like help them out. And then they're pursued by Hugh Jackman with a mullet.
Oh, yeah, Mullet Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. And that's it.
Who does a great South African accent,
Yes.
mind you.
And then there's like some big thing at the end. But it was pretty disappointing. I had high hopes for it, and then it was just...
Who or what is the Antwood?
Oh, okay.
You keep saying this word. I don't
they're
know
like
what that is.
some sort of avant-garde rap group from South Africa.
Oh,
They got into
I
a
think
film.
I know.
Yeah.
I think I know that.
You know, the I rub my dick on expensive shit.
No.
No, I don't.
No, I'm off now.
What
That's their most famous song. I don't know how that'd fit in. Maybe they'd be like the Lackeys or something.
All right, before we jump on to the next one, I'm going to have to jump in because it's not Henry Winkler.
Isn't it?
It's Henry Winkler.
I knew it was Winkler.
Oh,
Winkler.
you
I thought it was Winkler.
Were you serious?
I thought it was Winkler. Isn't
Really?
there
I
an
thought
R?
that was just a weird joke.
Winkler.
Winkler. I thought it was
Good. I'm
Winkler.
glad because I was starting to second guess myself.
Yeah, me too. I was like, are we just going to roll with this joke for the whole podcast?
Oh.
You're
All right.
It was an in-joke, guys.
God, I've been living a lie.
Morgan's still some real dry humour here.
Stumbled over
Telling you, it is Winkler.
It's Winkler. Oh, well, let's swing it over. Aaron, what did you roll with for the reboot of Happy Days?
Well, I've got a I'm going with a like TV special for set up after the end of season 11. Going with Christmas theme. So Happy Days was set from 1955 to 1965. You know what was going on in 65?
Vietnam
War?
No, different war. Cold War.
Oh.
Yeah. You know who the Fonz hates?
The Russians.
The commies.
Of course he does.
And you know what the commies hate?
The Fonz?
The Fonz's coolness.
Christmas.
Oh.
So, in my movie, the Soviets invade America.
Movie or
TV movie special. The Soviets invade America to steal Christmas. And
the tangible thing that
Commie
you can take.
bastards.
Yeah, so they kidnapped Santa Claus, Jez.
Okay.
And
the Santa Claus from the second episode?
The very same,
the
the
season
real
2 episode
one.
that we watched? Yeah, okay.
So Fonz and all the guys are drafted to the US Army, and their platoon is given a special mission to go rescue Santa Claus from the Russians.
Okay.
This is an awesome plan.
It's called Happy D-Day.
Oh, that's so good.
So for this, I want to keep the original cast. I just want to see the Fonz just in the snow, just gunning down commies.
In the jacket.
Yeah, they've all got fatigues. He's got a leather jacket. He's riding his motorbike, just with an M16. And
does he wear a helmet or does he just...
No,
got to keep that hair combed.
Oh, yeah. One part of the plot of this is that Richie gets exposed as a double agent. The whole time he was working for the KGB.
Knew it.
No.
So the final scene will just be this Fonz just with like an RPG, just shooting it right at Richie. He just explodes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Happy days.
That is intense.
Yeah.
Happy days.
That is so intense.
If Henry Winkler doesn't want to come back to play the Fonz, though, we can just get Sylvester Stallone.
That's really good. Yeah, and the thing is, I could see them actually making that.
Yeah, I reckon that...
Like, it's not unrealistic that
like
that
with
could be a
all,
thing.
like Rambo and all those movies.
Yeah.
They would have loved it.
Why not?
Yeah.
America loved the Fonz. Why not have the Fonz in the US military? Like, it's the dream.
I don't know how America would feel about the Fonz blowing up Richie, though.
Oh, everyone hates Richie, though.
Yeah, Richie was
and
a
you
real
was
bud.
a pinko.
All right, well, look, we'll swing to me. So I've gone for another sort of similar thing, but it's a 6-part miniseries. Band of Brothers-ish in terms of style.
Done this before.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying this is a 6-parter. But
6.
Mine
Last time
is,
it was 8. So.
Mine is,
all right.
But this is a prequel. So a massive prequel, pre-Happy Days. This is actually set in the Roman Empire.
Oh, wow.
And it's called Happy Romulus, which is a Roman calendar.
So it's set... A prequel set like 2,000 years before.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Is it okay if I steal your ideas?
Yeah, that's right.
Already established that the Fonz transcends time. So.
Exactly. He's been alive forever.
issue.
So it's called Happy Romulus, and it's a 6-part series of where the Cunninghams are actually the ruling family, and the Fonz is he wants to take power. So he's a general, the Fonzius, and that's he wants to take power from Howard, then the Cunninghams or the Cunningham Taviuses. It's a Roman drama where the family but it's all 50s. It's all the same dialogue, 50 style dialogue in this Roman sort of world.
Wow.
What is he elbow instead of a jukebox? Is it like some guy playing a harp?
Yeah, like
Yeah, pretty
marching
much.
band.
Yeah,
Playing the wrong song.
and so the Fonzius will be played by Sam Rockwell. And he's going to he'll have like the full Roman Praetorian gear, but he'll just wear a leather jacket over that.
Oh God, so sticky.
Still, and there's no, and it's all 50s hairstyles as well. Yeah. And cigarettes exist in this universe just to make it, a little more palatable for those people that like the original Happy Days. So the Fonzies will be played by Sam Rockwell. Richie, who I didn't come up with the name with, is going to be Eddie Redmayne. I need someone like kind of. I wanted Joaquin Phoenix, but I'm getting too close to Gladiator. So
yeah,
which is kind of where I got the inspiration from.
Eddie Redmayne hasn't been in anything like that before either. So,
exactly. So Eddie Redmayne, he's a bit of the snivelling. He's the one who's trying to get power from his dad, who's ailing health. So Howard, who's going to be played by Michael Gambon.
Yes,
I like Michael Gambon. He's ailing health. He's going out of power. It's between Fonzius and Richie. And then his bride, Michael Gambon's bride or wife, it will be Julianne Moore. So Marion will be played by Julianne Moore, and then Joni. I don't know. Joni's just there, but that's going to be Ellen Page. I hadn't really figured out what her role would be there, but I want to put it in there. It's a power struggle.
Yeah,
it's a real drama. Happy Romulus. And that's my Roman drama of HBO style hitting drama.
Love the name.
Happy Romulus.
Very good.
Cool.
Wait, so this is a. Did you say this is a television?
It's a 6-part television. 6-parter television miniseries.
How long is each episode?
A solid hour.
How much content?
How long is the theme song?
We're looking at like a 17 minute opening credits.
Excellent.
Broadcast on Extreme HBO.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so what's I really want to know, like, What's the ending? Does Fondius get power? Is he destroyed?
You gotta watch it.
You got to watch it first. I'm in negotiation with HBO to get this up
We
and
don't
running.
want to spoil
Give
it
us
for
a bit
everyone.
teaser.
Teaser.
Yeah, give us like what would be in the trailer?
We could go trailer.
There's a little bit of Coliseum action. A little bit of Coliseum action. A little bit of Legionnaire. Yes, and a bit of fighting because Fonzius is a bit of a war hero.
What about romance? What are we going to see? There's always romance in those old.
Well,
I see what you did there. Romance.
Yeah. Well,
Romance? Okay. I'll take speaking of forced.
Fonzius and Ellen Page. A bit of a thing going on there.
Oh,
in the
really?
background. And that's why Eddie Redmayne's going to try and kill them all because Eddie Redmayne's trying to take power, which is Richie.
That sounds just like Richie.
Yeah, exactly. He's power hungry.
Eddie Redmayne, has he got all his freckles in the right place?
Well, we could just. I mean, I wasn't married to making him necessarily a redhead. I just thought, Eddie Redmayne's
dye his hair red for
we could if we wanted to. I mean, he's got range.
Tattoo some freckles onto him, or
He's got freckles.
oh, does he?
He's a freckly man.
Does he have enough though?
Oh, he's got them in spades.
Are they in the right place? You might need to move them around.
There's surgery you can do for that, so it's
Yeah.
fine. We're getting drastically like just a Ron Howard plastic.
Very popular these days.
Oh, it's huge. It's all the rage.
You don't want to accidentally sign him up for Clint Howard plastic.
They're not so popular.
The boxes are right next to each other on the admission form, and you get that wrong, and his life's ruined.
Not even Clint Howard wants to be Clint Howard, really. So Happy Romulus is my reboot.
I like it. I really like it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's good.
I would legitimately watch it. And I don't really love watching old Roman period pieces.
Yeah.
There was some terrible show where they were just whitewashing the whole thing, and movie where they were whitewashing the whole thing. I can't remember what it was.
Every movie?
Every movie. Yeah, sorry, Hollywood. That's what I meant.
Hollywood.
Yeah, you've heard of Hollywood.
I've heard of it.
Kingdom of Heaven? That was terrible.
Yeah.
No, what Kingdom of Heaven's pretty. The director's
years
cut
old.
of Kingdom of Heaven is actually pretty solid. I'm sick of everyone shitting on it.
Why have you seen that?
That's not important.
Have you
why
watched
I've seen
both? The original and the director's cut?
I have not. I've only seen the director's cut. I said the original was shit. The director's cut was good. So I watched the director's cut, and it was actually pretty solid. It's pretty long though. It's like I don't know who's got 4 hours.
I've never understood
No,
director's
that was
cuts.
just the opening thing.
Why? Well, it just means
He's a director. That should the director's cut should be the cut that you go.
yeah,
with.
but the studio sometimes wants to make things
studio.
tighter. Well, that's not really how it
Be a
works.
better director.
Producer's cut is the final cut. That's
okay.
how it works.
I don't understand.
I don't-
Hollywood.
have you heard of
Yeah,
Hollywood?
before when you said that? Have I just made that up. I know nothing about
I
Hollywood.
thought people make movies. What's going on?
Apologies, Morgan. I jumped the gun when I said you were stealing my ideas because that was quite original.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So
Let's move ahead. Scott, give us your reboot.
Okay, so what I've decided to go with my reboot is it's a feature film. We've gone down the like thriller, murder mystery sort of genre. So first of all, I'll give you the name. It's called 12 Days. The setup is that on the 13th of December every year for the last 8 years, somebody's been kidnapped, taken from their family, and over the next 12 days, the family is then sent like a body part, right?
oh, like the 12 Days of Christmas.
Like the 12 Days of Christmas. You've got it, Jets.
I
You've
love
got
it.
I've got
I
it.
got chills.
I may not have heard of Hollywood, but I've heard of the 12 Days of Christmas.
And the idea of this whole feature film is that they've got to catch the guy who's doing it. He's been at large for the last 8 years.
Yeah, of course.
Howard and Marion Cunningham come home to find a note. And
Surely not Richie.
Their son Richie
Oh God,
no.
not Richie.
has been
Anyone but
taken.
Richie.
Has been taken, and
Is it just a poor little 12-year-old / 35-year-old?
all that's left in the house on Richie's bed is like a blood-soaked wreath.
Okay.
Wreath. And they know that that's the sign because that's this has been happening for 8 years. They can't catch this
That's
guy.
the calling card.
And so they know that the police can't catch this this killer. So they elicit the services of an aged crime fiction author, Arthur Fonzarelli, who's a former high-level mafia member turned fiction writer. He's basically on the case to try and find where Richie's gone before he loses all of his body parts. So like on day 1, said like one nose. Day 2,
Just one nose.
You can keep the other one.
Yeah. They're not animals.
Day 2 is like 2 ears. Day 3, 3 toes.
Oh, like the 12 Days
yeah.
of Christmas. What are
Hey,
there
get
12
that.
of that you can...
Teeth?
Like teeth?
Yeah.
11?
You can do 12 teeth.
But that's
11. It's
like
hard.
Hairs.
11 also teeth? 10 is also teeth. The last 4 or 5 days is just
Yeah,
teeth.
it really, yeah.
Like 60 teeth.
Part shark.
This is how the film pulls you in. She's like, man, what could they possibly send?
Where are they getting these teeth from?
Yeah. So yeah.
And
so
by
we
the time
then-
it gets to like the 10th day, is there any point saving him? You've already got most of him back anyway.
Yeah.
Just put them together.
He reconstructed
Yeah.
it.
yeah, turn him into a Chappie style robot.
Yeah.
10 meters of intestine.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It writes itself, really.
Yeah.
It sings itself. So, first of all, get him out of the way. Richard Cunningham, he's not going to be in it for very long. I thought we could probably pay him because he's in everything, but if he's only in it for a little bit, then we don't have to pay him too much money. Domhnall Gleeson.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Perfect.
Howard Cunningham as the concerned father, concerned and outraged father. William H. Macy.
Yep.
I'm going to have to come back to that.
All right,
Continue for now.
Marion Cunningham. We're going to get Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Yep.
Reckon she can,
Yeah,
she
it's
can
good.
do that.
She's done that before.
And as Arthur Fonzarelli, the turned crime fiction author, we've got John Travolta.
Oh, yes.
There we
Love
go.
John Travolta.
Where did that come from?
That,
No, don't you-
I reckon
don't-
he could do it. He could play an aged, because he's like, what, 70 now? He's
No,
pretty
old.
He's probably that old.
60.
Nah,
He'd be
he'd be
between
60.
60 and 70.
Yeah.
I'm
I reckon
sick
he
of-
could do it. He could look
Just like
look
Richie in
at-
the original Happy Days.
Or
Yeah.
the Fonz.
Travolta. No, I like that casting of Travolta. I think that's spot on.
Yeah, because he could do. He was all right in that OJ
He was great. in that,
American
yeah.
crime story. Is that what it's called?
He
Yeah.
can act.
He's got chops.
Part
Yeah.
of the Fonz's appeal is that the actor playing him is a couple of decades too old for the role.
Which is perfect.
Yeah. So
And,
So,
and
okay,
he-
well, let's say he's 50 and John Travolta. Yeah, okay.
John
but
Travolta's
Travolta's
early 80s.
Travolta's still got that bit of cool about him.
Does he?
He's in
He
Pulp
could come back
Fiction.
any second.
Let's not bag out John Travolta. I will not
Okay,
hear
no,
it.
I know you're a fan.
I'm a big
He's just
Travolta fan.
I'm just saying he's may have strayed from the path recently. You ever
strayed
seen
from the path recently.
Battlefield Earth?
Let's not get a whole thing about Battlefield Earth. Okay, have you seen?
I haven't seen it.
But
but
Jez,
I'm
you
not
should
going
watch
to.
the director's cut.
The director's cut is fantastic.
Goes for 9.5 days.
I was going to say the father,
Mr.
who's
C, Howard Cunningham.
played by William
William
H.
H.
Macy.
yeah.
So his son gets taken,
Oh,
and you didn't
okay.
you didn't go with Liam Neeson. Interesting.
Because it's got to have those like big name guys that can really give great roles. Because like the inspiration for this is sort of Seven. It's like a Seven style.
I'm with you. I'm
sort
with
of
you. So-
murder.
but you're avoiding washed up stars whilst casting John Travolta.
Yeah,
So-
I feel like the meat of the movie will be like 85% Travolta at this
Yeah,
rate.
That's true.
Travolta is a good actor.
You do want to
can
get
do
your
it.
money's
He
worth.
can. Like why do you think
Right.
what's
I
wrong?
didn't realize you were Travolta's agent. I thought you had.
I really like the concept.
Yeah, I think every time he comes across a clue at a crime scene, just like an under the breath, like, hey, like that. Just
What's it
one like a
called?
real
12
subtle
days?
one. 12 days.
12 days of happy.
Nah,
Just 12 days.
just 12 days. Keep it classy, Jess. This is a good movie. You keep forgetting that it's a good movie.
Sorry,
Trying to cast Liam Neeson. Get John Travolta
just
out.
because we went for some classy reboots and we didn't get right down in the dirt with Chappie days.
It hurts, man.
Well, hey, you don't talk about John Travolta like that in front of me.
Sorry.
I love John Travolta.
It's on the do not talk about list.
Yeah, he's on the do not talk about list.
Not a lot is sacred on this show except for
John Travolta. Back to me defending John Travolta. Battlefield Earth has given him a bad name. Okay?
Yeah, that
There's
was a
still-
while ago.
He still has.
People are hung up on
He
that.
still has some good movies out there.
Swordfish was okay at the time, but I was about 12 when I saw it.
Hard
I
to
imagine
believe
it's
Just because
pretty
Halle
bad.
Berry was named.
Broken-
Yeah,
Broken Arrow.
Halle Berry's boobs made it all right.
Don't talk, just listen.
Yep.
That's a spot on John Travolta
Now do him if he was South African.
and a robot and the
Oh,
fonts.
Jesus. Don't talk, just listen.
That was all right.
That's too
All
bad.
right, so we're recasting Chappie as Travolta.
Can we have just...
Morgan's voice.
Yes.
Sholto Copley will play him, but Travolta will do a South African accent for Chappie in Chappie days, or I will do it myself.
So what is Shadow Copley?
He's just gonna do
the robot.
We'll just get him to do the actions of the robot.
Like how Andy Serkis plays
Gollum and all the
yeah,
Caesar,
like Caesar
from,
and yeah.
Well, actually, just get Sholto Copley out of it. Just get Andy Serkis and I'll do the voice. That'll cut the budget in half.
I was gonna say you're wasting the talents of a man who has an amazing voice on just his movements.
Do we need Andy Serkis then? Because if we're cutting costs, I could just be in a morph suit. We can glue some ping pong balls to the like the joints or whatever. I don't know how CGI works.
Jez has never been to
I
Hollywood.
don't know how Hollywood works. I don't know how CGI works.
12 Days of Christmas, though.
I know all about it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
They
not get
gotta
away
sing
from the
it.
real issue here. The real issue is how you're hating on John Travolta as the lead, and I just don't understand that.
I don't think we're going to get to the bottom of this. We don't have enough time in the podcast,
no,
guys.
we don't.
You gotta hash this out later on.
I don't know what John Travolta's paying you, but it's weird how this is his marketing strategy now. Is he just pays random people on the street to go into bat for
He's
him.
not paying me anything.
In case you ever get into an argument
I'm just a fan.
about me, I want you to really defend my point.
Can you say that in a John Travolta voice now?
Hey, whoa!
Wait, are you doing...
My God! I don't know.
Is that your Fonz or your John
I
Travolta?
can't
This
tell.
further
I
proves
can't
that he
tell.
should be cast.
You're right.
They're pretty similar.
I'm sorry, Morgan.
All right.
All right, so
I'll lay off him.
fair enough.
So we got any closing thoughts on? Let's not get too sidetracked with the reboots. Any closing thoughts on Happy Days as a whole?
Personally, I think it was a lot darker than what it. They weren't all happy days.
You thought it was a lot darker.
I thought it was very
wasn't
dark.
It was bland.
I think there was a lot of really dark undertones.
You were trying to find darkness because you were so bored.
Well, no, I just think it was really there, and I think
alright.
I think that second episode with Dick and Howard just tells it all.
We know what you think.
Yeah, they weren't all
right,
happy days. They were not all happy days.
No, they
But
weren't.
they're my closing thoughts. And look, it was pretty boring. That show would not fly again now.
Nope.
I can see why Fonz is so popular, but the show it had some really dark undertones. There, I said it.
Yeah, bland sums it up pretty well. It was just a inoffensive.
Inoffensive is a good way to describe it.
Yeah, just be able to switch off half an hour not thinking.
Switch off the show or
Ideally,
your
yes.
brain.
But switch off your brain and just have half an hour of just sitting around the TV. Nothing too offensive is going to happen. And
one thing I would say is that no wonder baby boomers used to play outside so much. They complain about our generation being inside watching stuff on TV because there's good TV to watch. If that's all you had, you would go outside more. You would find other things.
You would do other things, yeah.
Yeah.
You turn on the TV and Happy Days is on. You're like, well, I'd rather just like pop my eyes out with teaspoons.
That's your official endorsement.
So 2 popped out eyes with teaspoons.
Throwback.
send to your family.
Throwback to 12 days.
Yeah, a little bit.
2 popped out eyeballs.
It really just seemed like a bit of a cash cow. And even like getting access to the episodes for us to watch was quite difficult because they only released seasons 1 to 6 on DVD, skipped 7 to 10, and then released the final season, which I assume Richie probably comes back for.
Well, one little tidbit about Ron Howard is that he actually signed on to Happy Days to avoid getting drafted to the Vietnam War.
Really?
Yeah,
That is
he was.
interesting.
There's danger of him getting drafted, obviously, and he got what's called a occupational deferment. If your employment relates to the employment of a lot of other people, then they won't draft you because it affects so many jobs. Wow. So yeah, he signed on for that, and then
All I got to do is
dodged
be a
the
big,
draft.
be a big star.
I told you he's a pinko.
So that's where the inspiration for Richie being the
No, it just fit
KGB
in
spy?
nicely.
Hey, do we have some like social media stuff to talk about with these?
Yes, we do. So please, if you really enjoyed the show or you enjoyed any of the reboots, particularly Happy Romulus, please comment on our Instagram or our Facebook. Where can you find our Facebook and our Instagram, Jeremy?
We are the Incomplete Series on Facebook, and
we are the Incomplete Series on Instagram.
Yep, and we're something weird on Twitter. But
yeah, we're podcast TIS on Twitter.
That's right.
But we've also got our new, fresh website up and running, which you can find at
very exciting.
theincompleteseries.com.
Guys, we're legitimate. We've made it.
There's gifts on there.
But yeah, you can comment on our individual episode pages. That's where all the gifts are happening.
Please check it out.
And please rate and review us on iTunes if you like the show.
Helps us get a bit of traction. Helps us move up the chart so more people can listen to us.
You know, if you didn't like the show, tell us why.
Yeah.
Don't tell us why.
I mean, personally message Jeremy if you're going to
my email
tell
is...
us why. What's your home phone number? I was written up on that bathroom wall.
Cool. All right, well, guys, this has been fun. Thank you, Aaron.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Jez.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Scott.
No, thank you, Morgan.
Cool. Cheers. We'll see you guys after Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Tigers,